What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the Andy Black debut album. Andy Black, lead singer of Black Veil Brides, a band that incorporates a lot of 80s metal stylings, glam rock, glam metal into their music, and now Andy is going solo. Andy Biersak being his actual name, Andy Black being the side project name, and I guess his stage name, if you will. The Shadow Side is the name of his debut album, and it's definitely in a different vein than Black Veil Brides. Obviously, if you're doing a side project, wanting to try some new things, it's understandable. This is your outlet for your creativity, and with Andy Black's debut album, I can't help but feel like he's trying to dip his feet into a bit too many things. It's kind of a messy record. Not to say that there aren't some good songs on here and some good melodies, some great guitars that come through, but I feel like it ends up coming off as a convoluted listen just for the sheer fact that he tries to stuff so much in there. There's a lot of running synthesizers that don't mesh up well with the guitars that actually do slide in or even fit with the vocals, and just some of the poppy shouted heys and the hand claps in the background of some of these tracks just feel a bit off base for what his voice suits. Andy Biersak has always been a pretty strong vocalist in my opinion. I mean, he definitely has a unique voice that helps him stand out of a lineup, if you will. And I think with this new project, I am seeing some of that vocal talent kind of overpowering some of the overproduced moments. But then there's some moments that actually come through and strike me as a strong song. We Don't Have to Dance was a great single that was released preceding this album, kind of talking about a one-night stand, saying we don't have to make this anything more than what it is. Let's just call it what it is. So we're looking to have a good time and nothing else. Doesn't have to be serious. Definitely a great track that incorporates some of those pop stylings, just a fast-paced, slick chorus, but it definitely hits hard. Even though I do feel like a good handful of these songs are trying a bit too hard to fit a certain label or pander to a certain youth culture, you know your fans and you know what they want, and I guess I can respect that to an extent, especially when the songs are somewhat solid. Now I say that, but then there's moments like Beautiful Pain and Homecoming King that just have some very cringeworthy lyrics, and even though the instrumental of Homecoming King is actually pretty solid, I feel like it's a kind of a callback and throwback to the 90s and even late 80s in a while, and just some of the like synth and rock that was coming out of that time, maybe a little bit of an industrial influence in places that I can hear on the guitar tones. I don't think that it's one of those tracks where the lyrics necessarily bring down the whole thing. It's just there's lines like fuck the Homecoming King, and I'm just like, why was this written and included on your album? I understand what this record's trying to do from a lyrical point of view a lot of the time, and it's about self-empowerment, kind of moving forward, putting the negativity out of your life, and that's definitely a good message to be preaching, but whenever you harp on it over and over again so harshly in just a very uninteresting and bland way, it makes the record just kind of blend together. I mean, there's some songs that stand out, like I was saying, We Don't Have to Dance, Ribcage, another one that I thought was really undeniably catchy. It's one of those tracks that actually takes the poppiness and kind of spins it to the right angle where it actually works, and I think the one that comes right after that, Stay Alive with Matt Skiba, works to an extent. I don't really care for all the I mean, that just gets a little bit annoying after a while. There's a couple of toss-away tracks on this record for sure, especially right at the end of this record. Broken Pieces just isn't gripping me or moving me in any way, and then The Void just kind of seems like a marching band send-off into the night that we've all heard 1,000 times, but there are some surprises that kind of line this track listing. I think the track Louder Than Your Love was a great little explosion of guitar and a rock moment that definitely suits Andy Black a little bit better. I think that this project could have fared a little bit better in my mind if they had just kind of stepped it up with some of the instruments. I like the incorporation of synthesizers and some of the pop appeal that we have going on here, but whenever you just kind of strip away some of the elements that really make Andy's voice shine, then I don't think that you've got as great of an album on your hands. I do have to call out the track Beautiful Pain though, because the pacing of that song just feels so weird. It just keeps building up, the synths will like rise and then fall back down, and the vocal ebb and flow on that track is just totally off point. When I let go where the heart is, it's like a roller coaster up and down, and it doesn't know where it's going, just back and forth. Hardcore Black Veil Brides fans, don't go into this expecting to get more Black Veil Brides just under the name Andy Black, because that's not the case at all. Definitely expect something more top 40-ish or radio friendly, if you will, and I'm not sure what this is going to spell for Black Veil Brides in the future. I've heard that they are still working on a new record. Never been a huge fan myself, but like I said, I've enjoyed some of their music. I have several friends that are pretty into them. I don't know about this new Andy Black project. For me personally, it's not really moving me or gripping me that much. I think there's a lot of recycled lyrical content here and a lot of instruments that could have been used a lot better. I like the idea of this side project and just kind of letting him out of that cage or that world that he had kind of kept himself in with trying to make these big tracks with Black Veil Bride, you know, the anthems and just kind of what fits with the music that they play. And not to say that they've never made music that hit home with me before, because that's not the case. Like I said, they've had some great songs. In fact, I really like that track that Andy did with his wife, Juliet Sims. Just a really great track, and I think it was on Wretched and Divine that came out a while back, and even the track with Burt McCracken of The Used. It's just been kind of a mix and match history with me and Andy Biersak and his projects, Black Veil Bride and even the new Andy Black solo album. For me personally though, the Shadow Side just isn't that strong of a record. It just kind of takes its strengths and spreads them too thin and too far apart for it to be that strong of a listen. There's a couple of songs that I could see myself coming back to, but I know myself and I could see them fleeting into the night easily within the next 6 months. Kind of forgettable material, but some of you guys might enjoy it. If you're curious, check it out at the link in the description down below. Me personally, I'm gonna go with a 2.5 for the Shadow Side by Andy Black. If you've heard this album, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to smash the like button while you're here and subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If you would like to see a Black Veil Brides review that I've done, or the last review that I did right here on this channel, you can click the links that are floating with the annotations right there below me. Other than that, I will see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.